This is News Plus on ZTN Prime. We're coming to you from Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. I'm Eben Mabunda. Now our news in detail. The Zimbabwe Senate today passed the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Amendment Bill. The bill seeks to punish those who campaign against the country through lobbying and engaging foreign governments and harming national interests. It will now be transmitted to President Mnangagwa for assent before becoming law. Our parliamentary correspondent Sharon Munjenjema joins us live to give us a breakdown of the bill. Good evening, Sharon.
Good evening. Yes, the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Amendment Bill was indeed passed. And the major highlight coming from that piece of legislation is, of course, what most people have been talking about, the new section that was introduced on patriotism. The new section criminalizes the act of willfully damaging the sovereignty and national interest of Zimbabwe. And that new section is also coming with a mandatory sentence of about a life imprisonment, actually, or a death sentence for people who are found guilty of that crime when the law is passed into an act. But that is not all that comes with the amendments of this bill. This new bill is also coming with a mandatory sentence for the crime of rape, which has been set at 15 years. The new amendments are also redefining what dangerous drugs are, and they're excluding industrial hemp. And the new amendments are also coming with an introduction of the crime of criminal abuse of office. This is something that has been talked about, but it has often been difficult for prosecutors to actually prosecute this crime in the courts, and now it's all in the new amendments that have been added.
Now, still on road safety, a top UN diplomat, Jean Todd, who paid a courtesy call on President Emmerson Mnangagwa at the State House today, urged the government to put traffic safety high on its agenda.
So we had a full delegation together with my colleague of United Nations and member of the government to meet the president and to speak about my visit in Zimbabwe, which is in fact my second visit, and to speak about the report which have been done by the request of the Minister of Transport of the road safety review in Zimbabwe, and to explain what is the situation around the world and in the African continent.
Meanwhile, calls for peace continue to be echoed as Zimbabwe draws closer to the harmonized elections by the day. The country will go to polls on August the 23rd this year. Our correspondent Mesingwebu had a sit-down with the spokesperson of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, Obert Kutu, and filed this report.
Election date is fast approaching in Zimbabwe and temperatures are heating up. But the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission insists that everyone should exercise their political rights in both public and private spaces without fear.
Because, you know, women and children are, in most cases, they are the first target of political violence. So naturally, we are obviously focusing on that to say, let's raise that awareness, to say, let's not victimize our vulnerable groups.
Commissioner Gutu says engagements with other stakeholders continue, with conflict prevention being the main port of call.
We're going to be meeting traditional leaders in Mashona Central Province. We have teams that are in Mkumbura, right there by the border with Mozambique. We have teams that are in Gurube. They are going to meet with Chief Chipuriro.
A consortium of churches has also come up to speak out against violence. Apostolic Christian Council of Zimbabwe's Bishop Divas Chakwenya speaks.
This year, it's a year of election. So we said after all the campaigns, we want to have a national prayer, a national peace prayer here in Harare after everything. And then we go to the elections.
Now, the Premier Soccer League has suspended all its league fixtures with immediate effect until next month. In a statement today, the PSL said this had been necessitated by the need for maintenance work of the water reticulation system at the National Sports Stadium. The playing field also needs time to regenerate after being used as much as 4 times as the home venue for 8 of the 18 PSL clubs. The league added that they expect the break to also give enough time for renovations at other stadiums across the country, including Rufaro, Sakuva and Nyamunga, to be completed before the resumption of the top flight matches.